If WW3 starts, what country in your opinion would be the safest, relatively speaking, and why? Opt doing that last-minute prep. Whatever the most stable country in the southern hemisphere is. If it becomes nuclear, 0 countries are safe. It's not like the old days where they drop one bomb. We are talking 1 to 2,000 nukes at once. Nothing will be safe. Madagascar. They close their borders, and nothing is getting in. Trust me, I played Plague Inc. before the pandemic. New Zealand until the nuclear fallout, nuclear winter arrives and kills every living thing. Antarctica, gonna vibe. Zimbabwe. No dog in the fight. Not Eastern European countries, that's for sure. You mean full-out nuclear war? No place. Just hope wherever you are gets a direct hit and it's over quickly. Oh wow, thanks for the award. International Space Station CUS, why the F not? A Mars colony isn't looking too bad after all. I would say Australia, but Australia has been having beef with China, so Russia and China isn't a great mix. Only one place. Antarctica. Madagascar. Far from all the mess, and sadly no developed countries cares about anything in Africa. WW4 will be fought with sticks and stones. No one is safe from that. Switzerland, just because I am sure there is so much money hiding there from all countries. If the bombs go flying, how would they get their precious money back? Switzerland. And no, it's not because of MUH neutrality, or all the money in their banks, or any of that. It's because it's a tiny country high up in the mountains that's fortified to hell and back with bunkers everywhere and guns pointed in WW3 direction, including up. Basically, unless someone drops a nuke or 6 right on top of them, and why would you? Honestly, the Swiss are gonna be just fine. The only hope for survival during a nuclear war would be near the equator away from major populated cities, and even then the nuclear winter would kill of nearly all plant life. If nukes were to launch, absolutely nowhere. Conventional warfare. The United States couldn't invade by land as an ocean separates it on both sides, and its navy has a heavy presence in the Pacific. U.S. allies practically cover the Atlantic. Not to mention, most of its citizens own firearms. So you're not only fighting an army, but you're also fighting many militia groups as well. Then there's the added bonus of how difficult it'd be to fight a war on another continent while maintaining ground on your own, fending off allies of the US. Unless there's an overwhelming force brought onto the US and there's a lack of allies, I think it's a safe bet that mainland US would be pretty okay in a war, excluding nukes, missiles, airstrikes. Canada. But not Toronto, Canada. The Northwest Territories, Canada, that no one talks about. In a 250-mile deep bunker. What about Argentina? How about like Iceland? I never hear about them in the news. Don't mind me in the comments section looking for ideas, cause I'm scared AF. Switzerland, they're not going to war. Also, if nuclear war does occur, then most Swiss citizens have access to shelter, so it's probably the safest country despite its proximity to everything. Ireland. No one would ever want to hurt us. Edit. Wowie, this got popular quick. Hi from New Zealand. The isolation here can be tough. But following COVID and now this, I feel very safe and lucky to be living back home these days. Edit. My heart goes out to my friends and colleagues in Ukraine and Russia. Stay safe. Kia kaha. Always Greenland. Source. Movies. Chad. Switzerland or Ireland. They've always been neutral, so they never get involved in world wars, which made them a safe haven for Jews. Jamaica, cause they just be chill and mourn. If it turns nuclear, we're all dead. Nuclear winter and radiation will kill us all. Easter Island. Canada. You want to invade us? Fine, we retreat beyond our mountain range. Oh, and don't forget about the big brother to our south who would most definitely send troops to aid against an invasion. Nauru. Somewhere in Pacific. One might try. Under the ocean. The Bahamas. If WW3 is nuclear, there will be nowhere to run to. All of this power in the hands of one little man named Putin. This insignificant little fascist can actually end mankind. Canada. Don't ask me why, I am not even Canadian. Canada. There's a lot of territory and not many people. Easy enough to take over the cities, but it will be quite a slog subjugating all the people scattered across the whole place. Park yourself in the forest and don't come out until you've not seen a plane for 2 months. Any invading force will be bored and exhausted after months of finding few folks. Switzerland would be an option if does not join. The USA will technically be the safest, but I think there would be a chance of being blown up, so we'll just move to Antarctica, even if it's not a country. Switzerland. You'd have to be the dumbest man alive to try to take the country. You'd have everyone declaring war on you at once. ITT. Everybody assuming the next world war would be a total nuclear holocaust for some reason and not understanding what mutually assured destruction means. There are some crazy people in charge of this world, but they're all smart enough to know that they're also dead if they order a nuclear strike. Putin definitely isn't gonna nuke anybody over a piece of land as small as Ukraine, especially if it means the decimation of all of Russia, the entire planet. Politicians want power, and there's no power to be had in an apocalypse. So in other words, yes, there might be a war. Yes, it might be WW3, and yes, it'll be brutal for everybody involved. War always is. Nobody's dropping nukes. Mexico. Plenty of resources, but organized in such a way that it's almost impossible for them to ally with one particular side. Blend into the countryside and eat avocados. The United States probably, because nobody has the military might to attack the mainland, and because the evil empire doesn't usually bomb itself. I mean, if it does and it leads to nuclear warfare, I'd much rather just die in the initial nuclear blasts. At least it'll be over quickly and I don't have to deal with the radiation. Zimbabwe. Narnia. It's pretty far away. South Africa. Far away, and no glaring obvious ties to Russia or USA, and kind of far away from any potential nuclear explosions. Probably some small Latin American country like Costa Rica or Uruguay. I feel like due to mad nuclear warfare is highly unlikely. That being said, the United States. First look at the terrain. You'd probably land on a beach, and then have to face the Rockies, Appalachians, deserts, snowstorms, thick forests, etc. Then there's the fact that something like 50% of the world's privately owned guns are owned by Americans. These aren't even counting illegal or unregistered guns. Any Russian platoon walking through small-town USA will come face to face with a highly armed populace that knows the terrain like the back of their hand. Basically, an invasion of the United States would make things like Vietnam or the Middle East look like a damn playground brawl.